Of course, all of us know the Proverbs 29:18. You've heard that been said. What I want to share with you is where there is no vision, the people cherish something. Well, what do we mean by that? We feel at the beginning of a journey of turnaround or any place where you're working with vision, it's helpful to identify what is the residual problem, what is the condition in the state of a congregation that is lacking vision. And to put it very simple, we would suggest there is a lower room identity that's taking the place of what ought to be what we call an upper room identity. And the lower room identity is best introduced with the concept of a soul x-ray. Let's imagine for a minute, go back here to our rule. Let's imagine here for a minute that we walk into a church and we survey 10 members. They come in, sit on a sofa. We've got this magical soul x-ray that can look right into the heart of that member or that leader. And let's say we ask the question, what connects you most deeply to your local church? Why do you call that church home? Right? We looked at the soul x-ray, we'd see four things. We'd see four things that we consider to be lower room identities. These are things people cherish when they can't see what God is up to. First one is the place itself. The bricks and mortar, the stained glass, the environment. I'm going to share a quick case study of church, Bible church in Dallas. In this church, they do a Celebrate Recovery program on Monday nights. They had improved a facility, and the pastor said, we want you to upgrade your facility. Well, what do you think the Celebrate Recovery folks said? No, we don't change our room, right? They didn't want it because of the emotions, the recovery, the healing, the experiences they had in that environment. We were connected to those environments, right? And you could tell lots more stories than I could on that. Just mention church relocation in the next church business meeting, right? The second place is personality. Where there is no vision, people will cherish their relationship to a particular pastor or staff member. Now, we want every member to love their pastors, right? But we don't want a pastor to build the deal around their personality. Unfortunately, that happens, a little too often, particularly where I come from in Houston. We won't mention any church names, but you can see faces on billboards in Houston and for more than one church. The next thing we talk about is programs, and every one of you have had that dialogue with the pastor or a lay member where they have a white knuckle grip on that program that should have been shelved like 10 years ago, right? And you just can't get rid of it. Well, why? It's not really about the program, it's about the identity. If I move the program, I displace this identity, and people can't handle that change. And then finally, we talk about people. Now, this is a little tricky. What do we mean by people? We're talking about that comfy nature of knowing a handful of friends that sit in your area of the sanctuary, or maybe they're a part of your adult Bible fellowship, Sunday school, small group. That's why groups are hard to multiply. That's why service times are hard to change, because you're reshuffling the relational deck, right? And you all know this is true. If my best friend goes to that church, maybe I go too. What happens when my best friend leaves? See ya. What's happened? When we can't see what God is up to, people stumble all over themselves. That's Eugene Peterson's translation of Proverbs 29:18. What I would suggest to you is when people can't see what God is up to, they're going to cling to these lower room identities rather than the bigger calling, the bigger vision, the bigger purpose of God in your congregation.